What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a quick review of the second studio album by MisterWives, an indie pop and alternative band. It's the follow-up to 2015's Our Own House, and the new one is called Connect the Dots. It's a solid album overall and a solid follow-up to an album that I did enjoy, but an album in Our Own House that I just didn't find myself coming back to for repeated listens. But the title track off of that, it is still saved to my Spotify song, so it's something that comes up. I enjoy it. Reflections is a damn great and catchy song that really took off for them. In fact, I was looking at their Spotify play count on their debut album and I was seeing that Our Own House had 45 million plays, Reflections over 70 million. I had no idea that this many people were listening to this band. They had a couple of viral hits, I guess, thanks to Vine back in the day, if you remember that app. I remember Reflections being huge on there for whatever reason, but I'm glad that they're back here and they have more pep in their step, more charm to their guitars and musicianship. But a big drawback for this record is the lyrical content. The lyrical content here is something that I see is very much trying to amp somebody up, give somebody a pep talk, saying, you know, we're gonna get through this, or we're gonna do this, we're gonna make things right. And there's only so many times that I can have this forced positivity shown to me before I get tired of it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case for every single song here by any means. In fact, I love the caring tone of moments like My Brother. That is one that I feel like could be applicable to a lot of different situations. But here, it seems to be somebody, whether it be a friend or an actual brother, and a pep talk from a sister saying, I'm gonna get you through this. Maybe you've fallen back into alcohol or drugs or a toxic relationship, but I'm gonna be that shoulder for you to cry on. I'm gonna be the one to lift you back up and put you on your feet again. And it's kind of a sobering look in an album that is full of a lot of pep, but there's also realism here as well. And I like on the track Revolution that comes right before that, I love the idea behind it. It's another moment that tries to go big or else go home. And overall, I will say that I am liking it more than disliking, but the problem here is that I like the verses more than I like the chorus on this track. I like the slow, smoldering drums on this thing, the way that the guitar is kind of subdued, and then it breaks into that big chorus that just doesn't feel like it fits the song. If you're just casually listening to this album, I'm sure you'll instantly pick up on the sunshiny melodies and hooks. The musicianship is definitely on point. I'm liking a lot of the guitar tones here. They're definitely more in your face on moments like Chasing This and even Machine, which has a lot of organic instrumentation. It's something that you'll notice they pulled from their debut once again. A lot of other things other than just the guitar, bass, and drums. There's other instruments in the mix as well, and I like that. Chasing This and Machine are both great starts to this record. A ton of energy there, and I can definitely relate to Chasing This. She says a lyric in there that says something along the lines of, you know, like, I've lost myself in the music, where did all my friends go? And now it's like years later, and you're looking at things, and even though this song is pretty upbeat, pretty chill in terms of its atmosphere here, it's also talking about some things that are a little bit darker, maybe a side effect of being on the road so much. Machine is a great anthem, kind of fight the system, we're not a part of your machine, Mandy Lee says on this one, and her vocals are so confident and talented here. I have to give her praise. She's a great vocalist that I don't enjoy on every single performance, and maybe a lot of that has to do with the lyrical content, but you have to admire the talent at least. Some of the moments get a little bit too sappy and cheesy for me, like Only Human, which is very, very monotonous and repetitive. I could say the same thing for Out of Tune Piano. It's one where she kind of relates her own life to this out of tune piano where she doesn't know what she's doing. It seems a bit out of whack. And again, it kind of falls into this routine of just repeating phrases. And yes, they definitely do have these pop tendencies, and a lot of pop music is about repetition. But for MisterWives, it seems like more often than not, they're smarter than that. And whenever they do fall into the repetition, it weighs it down a bit for me. MisterWives pick up steam again towards the end of this record. I'm loving Coloring Outside the Lines, a catchy as hell bop and absolute jam on this record. Oh Love, another one of the singles there, has a really, really catchy, it is a repeated phrase, but it gets stuck in your head in kind of a cool way. I love the bombastic drums on this thing and the kind of shouted vocals. It's different, it's looped, but at the same time it stands out from the pack and those other songs that fell into monotony that I was talking about. Bandcamp is a little bit of a slow burn that I think is pretty cool, and Let the Light In really takes off as those guitars and those big theatric drums fill the kind of void that was kind of there at the start of the song as they move and progress in, this song really gets going in the right direction. Overall, I would say I'm a fan of this project, although I do have problems with it. I think some of those can be overlooked just because it's fun, it is uplifting, it's a positive record, and I think we all need an injection of that sometimes in our lives whenever it comes to our music. And I definitely have been listening to some stuff lately that's been very negative. This is a nice change of pace. So even though I do have some issues with the record, I think the songwriting is strong in places and the musicianship is probably the best aspect of it. A lot of great guitars, a couple of guitar solos that are cool, some great bass grooves that are actually flowing in the background, although I do wish they were a little higher in the mix, and some organic outside instrumentation. Overall, I'm gonna have to say a light 3.5 out of 5 for Connect the Dots by MisterWives. I hope you guys enjoyed the review today. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. I was getting a lot of requests for this, and they are kind of a smaller band, but not really. It seems like they're kind of a juggernaut on streaming services, like maybe Apple Music and definitely on Spotify. So let me know your thoughts, and let me know what other bands you'd like to see me cover with album reviews in the coming future. Leave a like on the review to let me know that you enjoyed it, and support on Patreon if you're able to help out the channels on a monthly basis. It's this annotation right here, else the top link in the description down below. A couple of recent videos that I did on the channel that I think you'll enjoy, click right here. Or other than that, you can find me on social media linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on ARTV.